click the join waiting list button because they have an unlimited number of items on your project's beta version.
Yeah. Does deleting help? Or
I mean, we have the done thing, right? We can click there.
yeah.
Oh, there's 761 things that are done. You can archive, that's enough.
And that is enough just to archive. Okay.
Joseph, for your information, on the done tab, and then in that one column, click on the dots, and then there's archive all.
Are they already? Are these already archived or no?
No,
There's 761 unarchived things.
those are not archived. These are just done, and they are still on the board, and that, I don't know, there's a limit on how many things you can have on the board.
Why?
Performance, probably. But there was a banner on top that said, like, we're nearing the limit, and they have a beta feature for unlimited items, and if we wanted to join the waiting list, so I clicked it. But if you don't archive them, then the bots will start failing and PRs won't show up.
I still have that one if you want to see this.
Yeah. I didn't click the learn more. I clicked the join the waiting list. Yes, please. I will sign all my rights away.
And now you archived already. And,
No, I didn't. I didn't click it.
you didn't. Okay. But it's gone.
No, oh. Yeah, I think because I clicked the join the waiting list. That
Okay, yeah, okay. Okay, should we start? I can moderate today. I didn't do this for a long time.
No musical lessons?
No. No, we have the mother-in-law here.
Nice.
You won't enjoy any background music. Okay, hello to the Foundational Infrastructure Working Group meeting on 20th of June. So our agenda today, we have to go over the PRs issue. We have some points in the agenda. Maybe we can put the points in the agenda as first, if people are not interested in the rest.
Yeah, sure.
The first one, there is a new approval request for Ansh.
Approver promotion.
Yeah, unfortunately, he could not join, but yeah. And I saw you already approved it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joseph, you also want to approve it?
Clicking buttons. Buttons have been clicked.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Okay, this was the first one. We have a second one.
Yeah, that would be from Pascal. He couldn't join today either. He's on vacation. He's been working on the PostgreSQL Bosch release and would like to debug that a little bit further. I think, Joseph, you've been in contact with him in the past quite a few times. Yeah, did not include the changes he made on the PostgreSQL Bosch release repository. I thought you might know him already.
He's done basically all the work on the Postgres release for the last, I don't know how long. Everything that's changed other than like putting it into CI, which I think I did, but all the actual changes.
Yeah.
We will, so this is putting him into
No, reviewers.
reviewers for
Of the integration.
integrated databases. I'll take an action item to update Concourse also, because I don't think this group currently has access to Concourse. So I'll make
Is it
sure
in a
that
separate area in Concourse?
it's not, but I mean, if we're just giving viewer access to everything, it seems fine.
So we are finding this also. Okay. Check one thing that is contributes.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you also for joining. Okay, we have another one, disaster recovery, BBR working group changes.
Yes. Our team is taking over from the cryogenics team who was handling all of the BBR stuff. And looking at the working group, I'm pretty sure nobody in the reviewers or approvers list is currently doing anything BBR related. So we'll probably make some PRs for that soon. We're not going to remove those people. I don't know if people have to remove themselves. People never seem to remove themselves, but
I think we as working group leads are allowed to make those executive decisions.
Yes. It was, we have a job which is removing inactive contributors, but that job doesn't touch any people with roles in the working group. And the decision was what, like Ruben said, working group leads should take care of that.
yeah, all the approvers are people who are currently working on it. The reviewers were a totally different team at Broadcom, and I don't know what they ever had. I don't know why they were ever part of this that working group, because as far as I know, they never did anything on it. I don't know what they were planning to, or I don't know. Ownership within Broadcom was weird for BBR apparently, since also incredibly weird because it also owns the backup and restore stuff, also owns the homebrew tap repo, which definitely is multi-owned, but whatever. Not gonna try to solve that.
We could also look at just merging this into the main Bosch one and not have a separate BBR disaster recovery, because it's now the same team, right?
From our side, yes.
Yeah, from our side. And like, I don't know if there's much.
So you'll be assigning reviewers, maybe we'll be, because people from our side don't have experience and we don't.
Yeah. Don't worry, people from our side don't either.
We have fun experience for us all.
I'm pretty sure they never had a meeting. And it seems like there's a number of PRs that just haven't been looked at. So it's not a large list in BBR, but there's just 5 or 6 things in there that didn't get any sort of real attention to them. So,
and it is being it is documented on Bosch.io, right? As the solution to do things.
Probably, yeah. I mean, it's in the cloud. I mean, it's in the Cloud Foundry org.
Yeah, sure. But many things are that we don't own.
Yeah. I mean, it should be, because in order for BBR to work, every job you want to back up with BBR has to implement BBR hook things. So like everything's, cloud controller, Bosch, like everybody's got these hook scripts to make it work.
This one you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Those are actually in the Bosch releases.
Yeah, but they are not documented on Bosch.io, so it's not like the whatever sanctioned way of
Well, they're
doing
in
it.
docs.cloudfoundry.org, which is more sanctioned,
Sure.
right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to justify merging it all together.
Uh,
But
we'll figure it out. For now, we're
as a
just trying
first
to.
step, yeah, maybe keeping the list, trying to update the list of approvals and viewers.
Yeah, and I'll talk to some of the reviewers there and ask like, why are you in here? Is there something in here that you do? Do you need access to some of this stuff? Right now we're just trying to sort of take ownership of the CI from them. I was hoping to move it to the foundation, but then I found that they used a lot of Broadcom resources over the last 2 years. They basically took stuff that was just like Bosch Creative, and they're like, no, let's just use like CF deployment available from Broadcom sort of environment pool. I'm like, well, that won't work in the open source CI. So there will be some desire to move stuff there, but it's not going to be in the short term, given the amount of changes that are going to be necessary in there.
Okay. But yeah, if we can also merge the area if the same
Yeah.
people from your side. Yeah, maybe.
Like why I like the merge is because we at least look at the PRs in this meeting.
We could.
We could also in this meeting look at multiple tabs, but historically we
that's
have
true.
not.
That is possible.
It would be an option. I mean, it's just one click away.
This is a huge change.
Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's easier to just merge it together. Like,
I mean, having it as a separate working group. I mean, you could also change the tabs so those things show up in there. But having it as a separate working group would allow us to have the robots assign reviewers and approvers
Yes.
without the lists getting mixed up.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, if some people here still need this role, most probably merging will be more not so practical for them.
Yeah, I'll figure that out. I just wanted
Yeah.
to give sort of
Yeah.
a heads up
Yeah.
that it's coming at some point.
I like the idea of updating the filter so that we start looking at them.
You want an action item or?
I mean, first we need to update, have actual people that want to review
Yeah.
in there.
Okay, I see. And we can jump. Is there anything else you want to discuss before?
Joseph was going to take an action item to update the Concourse access for
Right.
the
Database.
integrated database stuff.
Oh no, not that. Yeah. Okay. Is there anything else?
No?
And then we
Go
can
over
go
PRs.
to. Sorry?
Let's go over PRs.
Okay. Yeah, this is still waiting for another review.
That changes 3 days ago, so it's not weird.
I changed 3 days ago for push, and there was an update. Okay. Yeah. Actually open. Is it waiting for changes? No. It's waiting for review. Okay, this is also still waiting for response. It's the draft. Okay, so
I just did that.
yeah, we all okay, disappear from the bot. We have one approval. I think we want to have a second one here. This is the backport to jamming. Waiting for another review here. Now, new stuff in our dashboard. Set the walk level of system tiers of conf on the same whiteboard TNS. Okay, reviews assigned. Waiting and include the discussion. Send detail NTP config deployment manifest. Here,
Is
yeah.
this probably works? I noticed that this wasn't documented the other day. Somebody was, well, because there was another PR that, well, there was an issue that I opened that then Ramon was like, you don't need to do this. And I was like, oh, you're right. The interesting thing, this probably works. I haven't tested this, is that this NTP array in the agent Bosch inv hash is filled in by a property from the director. So the director has an NTP setting that it always jams into this. I would assume that if you put it in the manifest one wins. I didn't test that, but it's probably true. And the best way to figure out if it's true is put it in here and somebody will say, this doesn't work. Like, oh, nice of you to say so. Make a PR. Oh, looks like they did test it because, oh yeah, look at that. There you go.
Yeah, somehow vSphere CPI is referenced here.
Interesting.
Maybe as an example, I don't know, but let's assign reviews so that more docs. It's that time of the year.
I think we asked them to do, no, we didn't. Wow. All these PRs are coming from things that I looked at last week. Machine series is something you can set in the Google CPI. You can set machine type, or you can set just CPU and RAM, which gives you a custom VM type of that size. But you can also set machine series CPU and RAM, in which case that gives you a custom type of that machine series, which I was surprised to learn, but also was not documented. I love how I keep finding things that aren't documented. I don't do anything about it, and then the PR just shows up from somebody because I mentioned it in one of their PRs.
If you judge whether this is good, we can just approve.
Yeah, no, it is 100% correct. I did this exact thing last Friday.
Okay, that's much then.
I love all the things in the Google CPI that I find that we didn't build, but somebody did. And when I want it, it's already there. So when Google was first building the CPI, they're like, somebody's going to want everything. And they just threw stuff in there that nobody's ever used, but still works.
Another docs PR about Bosch Curl. We can push the request to the Bosch director. Also the scout through Bosch COI. Okay. Yeah, this was
the greatest undocumented
yeah.
environment variable.
Yes.
Now it's at least somewhere in the docs.
Yeah. I remember Googling for that one. How was it Bosch tobacco?
I always just go look at the code. I'm like, I know it's in there. I know it's documented in the CLI code.
Oh, interesting. We get the same pair again. They are most knowledgeable in the docs area. The load balancing doesn't work here. Looks like. Did we have issues last week, Ruben? You've been looking into that, I think.
Load balancing. Yeah, there was a weird one on one issue where it didn't expand the team to separate users. But I think the load balancing is fine. But I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's doing it based on like the activity that people did, right? Like how many things they reviewed. So if they
Okay.
have not reviewed in a while, then I get assigned more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got 2 times the same people. That's why I was. But maybe it makes sense. CLI reference. I think the CLI V2 reference also. Okay. Docs, yeah. I cannot at the moment. I'm not sure. I didn't assign. Okay, now we have Benjamin.
You're probably too fast, Beyhan. There's probably some sort of cache layer where it updates it every few minutes. And if you assign people too fast in a row, it's just like, oh, these people have never been assigned.
I even will get faster. I'm applying for glass glass phase internet, or how it's called in English.
Fiber.
Fiber, yeah. Fiber. Your German is very good. Okay, and last one, rename our system to the outputs.
Well, that seems like a massive breaking change. Although I don't know how much the Terraform output of Bubble is intended to be used only by Bubble itself. So maybe it's not a breaking change. I assume this is further down consumption of this. These values are changed. Nope, just kidding.
Remains better with the CF deployment ops files. Yeah. So, okay.
I mean, CF deployment is the main target of these, or the main consumer of these variables. So it makes sense to align.
Just had a discussion on it on Slack.
Okay.
Do you know how these interact, Ramon?
Not really. I just seem to know that he wants to have like a bit of the same variable names with the what the output is, so it could easily more differentiate between the ops files and what he's actually doing with the other stuff. But
yeah, Bubble produces a vars file, right? That you then can consume.
Yeah, it can then be basically be used as
with
for the
CF deployment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do a CF deployment, put in the vars file, use some ops files, and then.
So instead of renaming everything, it create an ops file who will use these variables.
I mean, this could be done non-breaking, right? Like just have it double, right? Like have
Yeah.
The only thing that it will break is people who already have made some scripts around it, and they can either then remove it or they can just simply rename it. We will just bump the major version number, and it's
sure.
Bubble should never, ever, ever, ever be used in a production environment. So it's fine to break people's dev and test.
I do have some. I do think it is used sometimes in production, but
never, ever, ever.
Okay. Yeah, I assigned the viewers. Okay, then we have all PRs. We can jump to the issues.
Yeah, I had one draft PR, but that's just. I hope someone will have some time to look at that. For the Bosch and the Bosch agent repo.
Agent repo. Okay. Which one?
That's the above one for NF table rules.
Why draft?
Because I still need someone who is better in how we can test this properly.
No, you just get it merged, and then all the pipelines live in our CI, so you force us to just fix them when they break CI.
Yeah, I thought I would be nice this time.
So how do you want to find these magical people who are good at NF table rules?
Well, not about NF tables, but how we can better do these tests within our test scenarios or test systems. If you could check at the files changed, or yeah, you can basically only go to the firewall provider linux.go and the firewall provider test.
I mean, like we could just review it, right? And then someone will say, you need to test this more.
Yeah.
And then you say, but how? And then they have to come up with a snippet.
Yeah, the rest is all vendoring, so you just bullshit.
Yeah, I would still say this is probably ready for review, right? Because an outcome of a review needs more testing.
Okay, then get it out of draft.
You can never
There are
find that
also
button.
3 to-do labels in it, so
Where was this draft?
Sorry, I didn't get it. What is it for? These select table rules?
so within the agent, we now for Jammy and for previous one, we create IP tables rules to that only the agent is able to communicate via the netsport with the director
Ah,
and no one else.
I think it's further down, Beyhan. I think it's down near the merge button for some insane reason. Ready for review. There it is. Sorry, at the top of the screen right now.
Ready for review. Okay. It's, I think.
But yeah, so the NF tables are now better integrated with the C group V2 systems.
Hmm.
We can now basically say this is the C group that we want to use. Before that, we use all weird IP table stuff to finally get it to work. And this should make things a little bit easier.
And the IP table stuff will stay until we support Jammy, or
Yeah, the IP table stuff will still be for everything that's non-C group V2. So everything that's on C group V2, Noble and Forward, we'll use these tables. And then everything, if it's not a unified C group, like C group V1 is, then it will just use IP table.
okay.
Okay, and they play nice together, the IP tables and this kind of
The
NF table.
code will not execute if it's not C group V2. We check if it's specifically if it's a unified.
Changing
That's-
that is a kernel change or like a kernel flag.
Yeah, it's a kernel flag.
So you cannot do that. Like Jammy uses V1 and Noble will use V2. Or
Okay.
Nobody would ever change a kernel flag and then reboot a VM at boot time to enable IPv6 or something, though. So
No,
You're
we don't
guaranteed.
do that. We never change kernel flags.
kernel flags are immutable. You can count on that.
And the agent will execute this one on Noble and the other strategy on the Jammy.
Yeah, so we first wanted to do it within the stem cell, but then everyone was complaining that it was probably not going to work, and all bears and puddles and everything that was going on the road was. So I thought, okay, let's just then go this route. It was really freaking hard because it's really hard to. If you look at the freaking code, you would see like I can't read a single thing what's happening here. So yeah.
Not confidence inspiring.
I
Yeah.
think Sreek is.
It could
Yeah.
do a lot of other stuff. I don't know, but it creates these rules.
We have
You
some
even
question.
had to raise an issue upstream, right? Like with the library on how to get those IP, what was it? C group IDs.
Yeah, so for the it doesn't accept a string. So like the system slice was agent service, which is the C group location. First you need to look up the C group ID, and then when it puts it there and you check the rules, it will automatically have that string in there. I have no idea how this works. It's it's magic.
Sreek?
You're mute, so you may unmute yourself and speak. Yeah.
All right. Hey, yeah. Hi. Good morning. Good evening, everyone.
Hey.
All right. Just curious about the NF table stuff. Like, is there a concrete reason for moving from IP tables to NF table stuff?
Yes, because NF tables is the successor of IP tables, and with IP tables, with NF tables, it's easier to have C group limitations. With IP tables, we now do it with a very weird hack. And this makes it lots easier because it is better integration.
Modernization.
But if you look at the end, NF tables is still abusing IP tables below that. So
Okay. Yeah.
welcome to the wonderful world of firewalls and
It hides some of the badness from us, though. We don't have to worry about that IP table stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I got it. So, anyways, just thank you again. I just want to introduce again. I was with the Tanzu support until last month, from Turtle to Tanzu. Recently, I joined Wells Fargo in solutions engineering team. So I want to keep track of changes. I've been part of this team now, making changes. But thank you. I don't want to take much time. Thank you. Especially I worked with Joe. Thanks.
Yeah, welcome.
Ramon, there are conflicts.
I don't know anything about conflicts. It's not my fault. It's really hard to keep up with these conflicts because every time someone has made an Autobot who bumps gems the whole time, and then Golang libraries. So yeah, I can resolve this, and 2 days later it will have a merge conflict again.
They almost all run on the weekends, so just resolve it on Monday, and then you're good for a week.
So when someone reviews it, I will resolve it again.
Yeah. Okay. Should we put the comment or fine? Or you can put a comment if you want. If you have any concerns about the PR.
Yeah. Let me know.
Okay.
Everyone thinks it's unreadable. Not my fault.
Issues. Bosch agent Bob store client ignores the configuration update settings.json. Somehow it looks like it was required to recreate the VMs for Bob store certificate rotation.
Oh, this was the thing that we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago when Jamie was talking about it, I think.
This is the certificate.
This makes sense. So the blobs, so somewhere in the agent, it's using settings.json to generate the connection for the blob store client. But it is possible to update those settings for the blob store, and those end up in update settings. You cannot merge them into settings. That is a bad idea, because if you merge them into settings and then rely upon them in there, if the agent restarts, it's like, let me go fetch the settings again, and then it clobbers them with what's in the IaaS, and then your update settings are gone. So we need to change the agent to read. Somebody needs to change the agent to read update settings if it's there, otherwise settings. That's what the agent currently does for like the Nats creds. It's like, are they in update settings? No. Okay, I'll use the settings ones.
Okay, it's this is missing for the Bob store.
Yeah, I remember when we did the work to allow you to rotate these, we were like, yeah, let's change the blob store stuff too. But I don't know if we ever actually tested doing blob store stuff. I think we did, but maybe only creds, maybe not certs. Something was probably, something was probably missed, which is why we have an issue now.
At this, it is documented the same like for nuts. I don't need to recreate the VMs.
I don't know. It was less of an issue because most of the time you don't ever really need to update your blob store stuff because like certs aren't expiring every year, whereas Nats, like the certs always expired and we were forced to rotate them. Yeah. So the blob store stuff didn't get nearly as much attention.
But you have that, like if you have like a self-signed certificate on your blob store, right? Then you have the same problem.
No, because if I self-signed it, it's got 99 years of duration. Don't have this problem.
So that means this is something which is missing, and our contributions is welcome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to, since I did most of that update setting work, I'll try to take a look at this tomorrow, but I'm good at forgetting stuff too.
Do you want to say anything, Max?
You already summarized it quite well. We had the issue that we could not rotate without a recreate. That was an issue in Azure. Yeah. I think we will have a look if we can add that to the blob stop only.
I forget how the Blobstore CLIs get their config, if the agent generates it on demand, like right before it runs the Blobstore CLI, or if it generates it on startup, but it should be pretty easy because I'm pretty sure unless the Blobstore CLIs actually point at settings.json, which sounds insane. I'm pretty sure they don't. They have the separate config, so it should be pretty easy to change the generation.
Okay. I put some comment. Oh,
Have to go. Bye-bye.
see you, Benjamin. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So BPM does not work with cgroup v2.
Yeah, I also created in BPM release. It's just I hope that when I put this also in this repository, that maybe someone would put some more effort in it, or assign Aram more time so he can actually fix it.
I know he's tried to put some effort into it, but has not had a lot of success yet.
I thought he didn't have any time, so I thought with this I would create more.
Create time by making issues.
I would create time for him. It's like, this is important. We need it.
No, yeah, and he knows that, and he's asked the rest of us for anybody wants to help me.
Okay.
In what state is this then?
It super doesn't work now.
Waiting
That's all
for
I know.
It's waiting for changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a lot of new stuff today. Unable to push CCK on unresponsive VM. Overloaded VM.
Okay.
Is this expected actually? It's when the VM is overloaded, the agent most probably cannot react in time.
But if the agent would not react, then it would just say unresponsive, and then it would just should fall back on, like, it cannot connect it, right? And then you should have the option recreate, remove, reboot.
Okay, there is a bug then in the CCK. It is failing. It should offer the option to recreate.
Yeah. It's really hard to test this.
I wonder if they can use the new Bosch recover stuff.
Yes, yeah.
New Bosch recover stuff? Did I miss something?
Didn't you go to CF Day?
Oh,
No.
come on. Should we?
I didn't either. And in fairness, Chris made the recover stuff like more than a year ago, I think. And like I still don't quite understand it until I saw the CF Day stuff. But yeah, you can make a recovery plan, and then you can apply the recovery plan, which behind the scenes does some CCK stuff. It was like more than a year ago. Yeah.
Nobody of any of us knew about it. Wow.
In fairness, I still don't know about it. Like I'm still not sure exactly how to use it because I just never had. Its ideal scenario is large foundations where you have a bunch of broken VMs and you don't want to CCK select like recreate like 300 times. So this generates like a manifest, and you can like set like default actions or something for like, I want you to do all of this, but this sometimes or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how it works. It's magic as far as I know.
Seems like something SAP should look at. Or are you already using it, Beyhan?
I don't think so. We introduced this global dash fix deploy dash fix, I think, which is used. So Max is not more.
No, I just signed off.
So I asked so that they try this with the recover option. If that works, then I think the CCK is anyway not. I don't know. We can decide what to do then. Or
Yeah. The error they're getting is interesting. That EOF error like doesn't make any sense to me at all. If you scroll to the right there, because it's calling failed get state, getting process status. Oh, it's Monet. Monet's failing on the VM. Well, that's going to be pretty hard for the agent to do anything with.
And so it's trying to send back the Monet status as well, and then
Monet's failing hard on the VM, so it's like
Monet just puts garbage back, and then
does seem like CCK should, like, if the agent errors while doing a get state, it feels like CCK should be like, this thing has some problems. What do you want to do with it? Rather than like, I couldn't figure out its state because it threw errors, so I'm not going to do anything.
yeah, seems like a bug.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could try recover to work around it, but we probably leave it open. So they can, somebody could make a contribution to CCK.
Yeah,
That's
but I
just
don't
the
think like
checklist.
I don't think recover is gonna work. Get around this because
I
that
think
like in the end still calls
get any same
CCK, right? But just like picks options.
It probably still calls the get state stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it's going to do. It calls similar APIs, but it could have different behavior around what it does when those things return errors.
Mm-hmm.
Good news, they'll try it and tell us it has the same behavior.
Probably something, one of these tasks got updated because I was doing stuff.
I added the C groups V2 BPM issue here.
Today I was looking at the RSys log again because they at this con still didn't create noble repos for Redis yet, for RSys log yet. If they don't respond back within a week, I think we need to look at how we are going to build it from packages built from source ourselves. But I really don't want to do that because I've
No more
looked at those build
CVEs.
scripts and they are big. A lot of
Could we get,
stuff.
I mean, do we have time to just have Cloud Controller have an option for logging format to spit out something that normal syslog can parse?
I don't know. We should get Diego a team or CF deployment team in that.
All the teams.
Oh, yeah.
That's the underlying issue, right? They have all these like rsyslog plugins because they're spitting out, they have to like do a bunch of transformations on their logs because for whatever reason their log format isn't easily parsable by syslog itself.
Well,
I think that's the underlying issue.
I've seen
and it's like
logs.
maybe spit out better logs.
Yeah, we also talked about going to the latest like RSys log is not used that much anymore. I think it seems like dying a little bit. But it seems like a lot of effort for the logging teams to go that route. So
we could throw this over to the logging working group, right? Make them like, hey, you can make some PRs to build it from source, or you can go change it so the logs that are generated by components are good.
Yeah, fine by me.
I'll see if I can harass some people. Go find that. There was a Slack thread, right?
There was a Slack channel. Yeah, I think it was in Bosch Noble. in some of the groups. We've done this.
Okay, I think we started to collect Bosch DNS backwards incompatible changes. Also, somewhere, where is it here? There are some
Yeah, that's for Bosch DNS. I made one PR that it has the same log level. I think I did it all. I told you already last week.
Yeah, but since we disable recursing, all the recursor flags definitely don't work.
Yeah, those
However,
recursor things, I thought like, yeah, that's just something we need to document that. Like it will not work anymore for systemd.
now you have just systemd resolve doing definitely the correct thing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, but yeah, we are still collecting. I think maximum also
Caching is already by default now, so should not do anything there. The only thing I was looking at was like for the logging, because SAP added the PR like for logging certain things, and I was really confused. And systemd resolve does not have a lot of logging issues, logging options.
Yeah, so we're probably losing some functionality there.
Yeah, I think it just drops everything into one log file. And then maybe use Prometheus to make sense of it. I don't know.
Yeah, we have to see what is what is useful. Also, the amount of logs is also a point which was really much. How many logs you are producing?
The good news is Bosch DNS should produce fewer logs now because they're getting way fewer requests.
Yeah, I see.
It's only handling Bosch DNS traffic.
Yeah, for this, I thought because we already do resolve CTL, and in one of the when Bosch DNS starts, and I thought we would just execute the same.
Seems reasonable.
That's why not. Didn't want to make it more complicated than it already was.
Yeah, it's still ongoing. Will be interesting to collect everything and document.
Yeah, and for Prometheus, it has a specific systemd resolve PR, which you see the systemd exporter, because otherwise it was missing information. So they fixed this like 2 years ago.
And we have some metrics for Bosch DNS. So are there?
Not for systemd resolve. There are no metrics. It's either you have the status from how many requests has been done and how many failures there have been in basically resolved CTL status. But I don't know how useful that is because it's probably also put in the logs, and you can probably also do that with the systemd resolve the exporter, resolve CTL exporter. Just put it in a dashboard. I don't know which other metrics we're really looking for. So also I never work on DNS stuff, so I have no idea. I try to look into it, but I have no idea what people actually need.
Yeah, we can maybe ask Max. We have some dashboards built based on the matrix.
Otherwise, I need someone from a monitoring team from SAP or something that will just.
No, it's in the Bosch team.
Oh, it's in the Bosch team. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I think we are done also with the issues here. Okay, we talked about this is older than the last week meeting. Is there anything else?
Well, next week will be my last joining this meeting for a while, so taking a long vacation.
That is true for me also. I will be gone for much of July.
Wow. I thought in Germany we have package. Okay, yeah, good to know.
Okay,
See you next week.
see you next week.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.